Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the APFC at a catch weight of 151 pounds. Sponsored by Third Coast T-shirts and Wisconsin National Guard. And now introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a hip-hop Muay Thai fighter. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and officially weighed in at 150.8 pounds. Coming in tonight, making his professional debut, is fighting out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin, Brennon, the Marshall Mellgren. And across the cage, his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall and officially weighed in at 149.7 pounds. Coming in tonight with a professional record of 1 victory with 1 defeat, and he is fighting out of Burbank, Illinois, Mohammed Maali. And your referee in charge is Justin Brown.
Justin Brown, third man inside for this featherweight contest. The pro debut of Brennon the Marshall Mellgren and the return of Mohammed Maali. Mellgren in the blue trunks, Maali in the red. Does have the double knee brace going on. Early takedown from Maali as expected, David.
Mellgren comes out, fires that knee. Maali, however, runs right through it in the double leg. However, Mellgren able to bounce back, get his hips up, in a better position now with the front headlock on Maali.
Now looks like he's dropping for that guillotine. 30 seconds in, the Marshall trying to stop Maali. That looks tight, David.
Mellgren jumped his hips to the guillotine. It looks like it's under the chin. However, Maali able to get his hands on the forearms of Mellgren and pressure and push forward and get his head out. Now he's in a better position on top here to go to work on Mellgren.
Really smart and patient defense from Mohammed Maali in the early frames of this one.
Definitely,
3 5-minute rounds.
Definitely have to give Maali his props there. Not panicking, fighting the hands, not trying to explode out and putting himself in a bad position. Now he's out, and now he can go to work. He has 4 minutes here to go to work on top of Mellgren.
Last time we saw Maali, it was a first-round submission. He knows how to stop the fight at any time. Mellgren trying to use the legs to find some success, but Maali is just suffocating him here.
Maali doing a great job with his head position, keeping his head over the top of Mellgren, which is going to prevent him from trying to build his base and build up. Just pressuring his hips forward. Definitely comfortable being dominant positionally right now.
If you're Mellgren, what would the steps you need to take to get back to your feet?
Right now, if you're Mellgren, you just want to try to contain Maali's hands so he isn't able to land any devastating shots. Perhaps bump him up with your feet, try to get him close to you, and then try to get your heels in the hips of Maali and create space and create a window and avenue to get out from the bottom. Right now, I think the pressure from Maali is just too much for Mellgren right now.
The Marshall activating the legs once again, but unsuccessfully. Maali just pushes right into the guard. Midway point of round number 1. This fight brought to you again by Third Coast T-shirts and Wisconsin National Guard.
Maali just grinding his head into the chin of Mellgren there.
Nasty ground and pound from Mohammed Maali, really leveraging the elbows. And not showing any signs of ring rust, really, David.
None whatsoever. I mean, he looked to come in here and get to the ground, and he did exactly that. I mean, he shot within the first 10 seconds of the fight, it seemed. I would like to see him maybe look to advance in this top position. I mean, he's doing a great job controlling positionally. However, like he just did, we need to create some space and land some shots too. We don't want to just rest on top. Whenever we're in a dominant position, it's a position for us to dominate, whether it's landing some ground and pound, whether he's looking to break the guard and pass and go into side control. I think movement and action on top will be good for Maali.
And you got to think mentally for Mellgren, this is about as poor as this round could have started.
I mean, that's the risk you take. He jumped the guillotine. When you jump the guillotine, you give up your hips. It generally doesn't end well unless you want to be there and you're comfortable on your back. Whenever you jump the guillotine like that, you want to be ready and prepared to work off the bottom here. Mellgren doesn't seem to be someone who's an elusive jiu-jitsu guy off his back who is going to set up, you know, some angles to set up an ultimate submission. Right now, he's not in the worst position. He's not taking too much damage, but definitely from a scoring perspective, right? He's losing the round. We haven't seen much action from him on the bottom.
I think the only person that advocates for jumping the guillotine is Dustin Poirier. I just don't see it be effective too often, David.
You know what? I'm not gonna answer that one, but you know, Dustin has been a guest of ours here in the APFC.
We love the diamond, baby. We love the diamond.
I'm not trying to run into him anytime soon.
20 seconds to go. Maali now opening up the ground and pound a little bit more. Suffocating and dominating are two words to describe this opening frame from him. And if you're Mellgren going into round number 2, you got to think, man, I do not want to be on my back.
Most definitely.
Second round up next between Muhammad Maali and Brennon the Marshal Mellgren. Professional debut for Mellgren. And he is pretty much controlled the entirety of the first round.
In control it has been. Here we have the replay. Maali throwing that double leg, just jumping right in, running through the knee there of Mellgren. Mellgren was able to recover, though. Got to the front headlock position. I was thinking he was going to maybe try to take back control. However, he jumped to the guillotine, threatened Maali for a little bit. However, once Maali got through that guillotine, it was just all control, pressure, and ground and pound for three out of 4 minutes of the round there. We saw Maali on top just grinding his opponent, digging his forehead into the chin there of Mellgren, throwing a few punches there, but just controlling positionally ultimately.
Maali's corner shaking the arms out ahead of this second round. Justin Brown gets us set. Big uppercut from Mellgren. Hits air. Maali once again in on the takedown.
Mellgren throwing that uppercut from way across the cage. It's dangerous there. Anyone who knows, if you're a boxing practitioner, you know it's one of the most dangerous punches to throw from outside. However, Maali getting right to his wrestling. Nice double leg, got his hips under him, scooped his opponent up, dumped him on his back. And now we're in this same guard position where he spent most of the round, last round, just doing damage. Keeping his hips tight, keeping his head above the head of Mellgren, landing shots when he can.
Now in the first round, it seemed like Mellgren, with the consistently closed guard, was just trying to control Maali's posture and mitigate some of those damaging strikes. But in this second round, would you make more of an effort to try to skate back to your feet?
Yes, if you're on the bottom here and you're Mellgren and you spent your whole round essentially on the back, you definitely have to try to create some action. As we saw, there wasn't much advancement on behalf of Maali last round either. So if you're on the back, the onus is on you to create some scrambles, create some angles. Even giving up your back would almost be better, essentially, than just sitting there and allowing Maali to escape with these rounds.
Accepting the position is certainly not a way to get back up. Mellgren with a bit of a twisted pretzel limbs on the canvas here approach, trying to lock up one of Maali's appendages.
I mean, Maali essentially enforced that position there. However, it looked like Mellgren was going to go for a knee bar, perhaps.
And now Maali with this potential arm triangle, swimming over to that side. This could be deep, David.
Maali just smothered his way into that position, landed a few strikes, and just settled in as Mellgren is trying to use that left hand there to keep enough space between him and Maali to not get the submission. Now, in order for Maali to get the submission, he needs to get his right shoulder onto the throat of Mellgren and get Mellgren's right shoulder to the mat. However, Mellgren is in a good spot. I mean, the best spot you could be, I mean, considering.
Maali readjusting, tightening the squeeze here. 2.5 to go in round number 2. Mellgren in a world of trouble. This is exactly how Maali got his win last time out. History repeating 12 months later, potentially. And if you're Mellgren, I mean, you gotta be patient, composed, which he is, but getting out of this top priority.
Yes, for sure, but you don't want to put yourself in a worse position here, so he definitely has to take his time.
Mellgren pops out and is greeted with a strike from Maali. And now Maali trying to get the same submission attempt on the opposite side.
Maali just smothering his opponent on top. Not necessarily looking to advance. You see him throwing shots every now and again when he has an opening, but he's just comfortable just laying and grinding on top of his opponent here.
We've spoken about it before, but Muhammad Maali had a 6-year layoff from October of 2016 to May of 2022. Since then has been active and been successful. 1-1 here inside APFC. 1 minute, 10 seconds to go. Crowd here at the Potawatomi Casino wants action, David.
If I'm in the corner of Maali right now, I'm telling him we need action. You know, we're in a good position. However, let's do damage with this position. Let's just not settle here. Mellgren doing a great job of shifting his hips, looking to hip heist up.
Oh, the Marshal with 45 to go finds his way back to the feet now, pushing Maali up against the cage. This is the opportunity that he needed.
And that just shows the raw strength there of Mellgren. Able to bridge and hip heist his way all the way to his feet. However, a little bit too hasty once he got to his feet, threw that spinning elbow. His opponent was very close to him. That's generally not where you want to throw spinning attacks when you're that close to your opponent, because that's what happens. Your opponents grab you, you go down to the mat. Now we're back where we started with Maali on top, just pressuring and looking to ground and pound.
Final 10 of round number 2. The home run attempt from Mellgren not there. Even Shohei Ohtani strikes out, David. Third and final round between Muhammad Maali and Brennon Mellgren up next. Well, it has not been a very successful first 2 rounds for the Marshal, Brennon Mellgren. I do want to compliment the tenacity, right? The composure. He did maximize that moment in the final moments of round number 2, but in round 3, what is the advice? What is the guidance?
You know, we definitely got to commemorate him for the tenacity. I think he could have had a little bit more composure once he got to his feet. Through that risky technique, which was unnecessary, right? This was your moment, your opportunity to get back in a fight, not create a highlight reel. Much like we saw, Maali got to the wrestling almost immediately here in the second round. The double leg has been the key to success for him. Getting the double leg, getting his hips under him, scooping his opponent up, getting him to the ground, and once he gets to the ground, he's just smothering. Right here, we saw Mellgren able to bridge and hip heist, create a scramble to get back to his feet, which was his opportunity to get back in a fight. However, he throws that spinning elbow from a very unorthodox position, which ultimately allows Maali back into the fight and back into the position he wants to be in.
Oh, the Marshal sprinting at Maali to start round number 3. Clinched up against the cage within 7 seconds. Not where Mellgren wants this fight to take place.
And we know what Maali's going to do here from this position. He's going to look to change levels, isolate a leg or 2, and dump his opponent down to the mat. Right now he's in on the single leg, looking to turn the corner. Mellgren doing a great job of defending with his hips. However, Maali just too powerful there from that position, able to scoop the legs up of Mellgren.
Such a deeply impressive and dominant skill set that Maali possesses. Even if you're doing the right things and answering those situations, he just still muscles you down.
And that just speaks to his strength as well. I mean, on top, you know, he just seems to be like a brick wall on top of Mellgren, not really allowing him to move. Even when Mellgren tries to create space, Mellgren is just smashing him with his hands and punches.
Bit of wall walking here from the Marshall. Definitely some more attempts to get back to the feet and find himself in a striking domain, but Maali quite wise to all of those different tricks. Glass half full type mentality. At least he's near the cage and has those opportunities to find ways to posture up and build a base.
Yeah, being near the cage when you're on your back, it can be advantageous, but I mean, with the strength and power of Maali and the wrestling powers, is not where you want to be, because he's just going to use that cage to pin you down. He's going to put his head against the cage. He's going to create a leverage point that you can't really break, and he's just going to smother you, as he's been doing so far this entire fight.
Mohammed Maali has been in the driver's seat in his third APFC appearance. Fighting him is like a nightmare, probably.
It definitely probably feels like a bad dream there for Maali. I mean, excuse me, for Mellgren on the bottom, as Maali just constant pressure. His hips are constantly engaged. When he lets up, the punches are coming, the elbows are coming. It's just, it's not a position you want to be in, and if you are in, we just need to see a more of a sense of urgency there for Mellgren.
Midway point of round number 3. If you are Mohammed Maali and you've had 2 rounds of domination, do you kind of kick into a different gear and try to find that stoppage?
You definitely always want to be looking for the finish. I mean, when you get your opponent in a position where you can feel that you're dominant in, why not finish? Why do this for another 2 minutes when you can soften them up with some elbows, maybe look to attack the throat, maybe look to transfer to the back here and just create openings for yourselves for a more exciting finish, a more exciting victory, and less fighting time. I mean, we don't get paid for overtime here, you know?
2 minutes to go in this third and final round. The Marshall, Brennon Mellgren, having a very challenging time in his pro debut. Hometown crowd trying to encourage their local fighter on, but Maali is just too much as he tries for another arm triangle submission. Mellgren attempt, apologies, David.
Go ahead. I was going to say Maali was finally able to pass the guard, was looking to get into an arm triangle position. However, Mellgren finally using the wall walk correctly and able to scramble out on top. Maali in a great arm bar position, though, however.
Mellgren pops out of it, 60 seconds to go. Maali attaches himself like a tarantula to Mellgren's lower half. If I'm the Marshall, I'm pulling out all the stops to find this finish. Will we see a miracle in Potawatomi? .35 to go. Mohammed Maali finding himself partially back on top. At the very least, mostly out of the danger zone from Mellgren.
Yeah, that was a bit dangerous there as Mellgren was able to wall walk and hip heist his hips over, which we've seen him do once before. I mean, he was in a much better position. However, Maali able to counter, get back in side control, get back in the dominant position. He's going to ride this out for the last 10 seconds.
What a welcome back performance for Mohammed Maali in his third APFC outing. Showed that the grappling prowess is simply on a different dimension. Statements wanted and statements made from the 35-year-old. Credit to Brennon, the Marshall, Mellgren for staying in there, staying tough, constantly trying to improve the position, being composed, but unfortunately just didn't have the level tonight, David.
No, I mean, we saw the tenacity from him. We saw the fight that he had. However, he just needed to be a little more calculated in his approach towards the fight. Maali was definitely determined to get to his wrestling, get to his ground game, and just smother his way to victory here tonight.
Final 10 seconds of round number 3 here. The closing moments of the fight. This was the picture for all 15 minutes. Muhammad Maali on top. Mellgren unable to do anything.
That was pretty much the story of this whole fight, Ben. Maali got to his double legs, which was some great shot opportunities, scooped his opponent up, dumped him to the mat, and just was on him like a wet cloth, never giving him room to breathe, never giving him a break, landing the ground and pound when he could, and he cruised to victory here tonight.
His APFC debut was that first round submission setback, but since then he has been the picture of perfection. We send it inside to handsome Michael Hansen to find the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. And all 3 judges scored this contest 30-27 for your winner by unanimous decision, Mohammed Maali.
Questions and skepticism after that withdrawal at APFC X, but man, what an amazing performance from Muhammad Maali, and now he gets to speak with David Evans.
I'm here with your winner, Muhammad Maali. Muhammad, how does it feel to get the victory tonight?
Ooh, it feels good, given the fact that in April, I was supposed to fight for APFC. I pushed during Ramadan. I pushed through when I was sick. I made it to weigh-in, then I had to go to the emergency room. Everyone was talking shit about it, saying that I was scared to fight. I'm not scared to fight. I was actually sick. I went to the ER. I got proof for it. Today I made up for it. All the haters, shut up.
Maali never afraid of a fight. Now, we saw in the first exchange in that first round, you guys came out ready to fight. Your opponent threw a knee and you blasted through it with the double. Did you feel that knee and just fought through it?
Yeah, that caught me good, man. That knee landed pretty good. I just went through it, mentally tough. I got on top. I started to hear him. He started to break a little bit. And I was like a shark in water. Once I smelled that blood, I was going.
Were you coming into this fight looking to get to your wrestling? Did you see that as the key for success here tonight?
Oh, yes, for sure. The wrestling was a huge part of the fight. The game plan was to pressure, shoot. If he's gonna sprawl, we're gonna scramble. I could beat anyone in a scramble in the world, so I wasn't too mad about it. He hits hard as hell, though. He got me with some good-ass punches, and he made me think a little bit, but much respect to my opponent. I know he's a tough guy. He's a former champ. I watch a lot of his fights, man. Much respect. There's nothing wrong with losing that pro debut as long as you come back, bounce back, you know?
Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Muhammad Maali.
Hey, I want to get a shout out to the PETERSON show. It's a great show. I love fighting for you guys. I want to continue fighting for you guys. Also, I want to give a shout out to Damien. Hey, Damien, you the man, bro. You put a lot of work into this. I got a good relationship with you. I would like to thank my coaches, Roberto Ramirez, Angelo Prince, Muhammad Azara. One more thing. I want to give a shout out to my strength and conditioning coach, Brad Lashinsky, for keeping me in shape, man. I appreciate it, bro. I'll see you Monday.
Muhammad Maali, ladies and gentlemen.
I love